Spring is finally here, and a lot of the infrastructure that we've been working on is progressing, so I'm going to give you a quick tour of what we've been up to and what's going on with our systems that we have. This is the indoor nursery. I've got various sunflowers, cabbages, spinaches, a couple of other a lot of herbs over here, 5 types of herbs that have come up really nicely. And this is in the sunniest spot of the house, but at least the sunniest window that we had access to, that also has tile floor, drainage. And this is the heat sink. This is some gravel that's collecting any drips and making it look a lot cleaner and nicer. And it's also catching the sunlight right now, and that's going to continue radiating heat into the evening and keep these guys nice and toasty. Put this polycarbonate sheeting up to protect this lovely wooden framing from the sprays, so you don't even know it's there really until I start spraying it, and you can see some beautiful radish microgreens coming up. And we have our still prototype pump system, watering system, and as you'll be able to see, it's not working. It doesn't want to spray. We don't know why yet. We're going to work that out. Let's go outside. Beautiful early spring day. We've finally seemed to have at least had some reprieve from the drought here in Sydney, and the cottage garden is just looking absolutely beautiful. All of these flowers are really showing their true force here. Lots more bulbs on the way. The nursery and little tool rack here, all built from pallets. I found these pallets while dumpster diving, and all of the annoying little in-between slats had already been taken off by somebody, so that is really handy because it was very easy to just line these up and put in the essential supporting slats. This is the earliest stuff from our nursery. These cuttings are a few months old. We have rosemary, curry leaf, and olive leaf. Some more recent ones, we've got strawberries, we have native ginger, yacon, some salvia, and we have the shocking results of our first nursery run where we used pure compost. Never again. Basically these young plants germinate well. They look good up until about this size, and then they get totally choked by the lack of air and free drainage in the system. So we've been transitioning to we're trying out a new mix. These beans, they look good for now. We need to pot them somewhere else immediately, or they will go the way of all of the other beans that we have tried so far. This is the new mix. This is a mix of 50-50 compost and coconut core, but with also about 10% vermiculite and sand. Yes, that adds up to 110%. I hope that's how it will perform. Marigolds, at least 1,000 of them will come up just in this small section. coriander's starting to show a little bit, and then we've got buckwheat also germinating quite excellently. We put these on here because we've seen before what rats can do in another nursery, especially these young baby peas, which just look very delicious. And I think a rat may have tried to get in here because all the media has been scratched away by something. Who knows? We've got cabbages, kales, silver beets on the way. So these are the new trays that we've been using. Professional nursery trays. These ones are the 81 cells. We bought 10 of these, and we got given a few of these ones. These are the 210 cell ones, and so we're going to be using both for different purposes. Here's the storage of all of our bulk materials, sand and potting mixes, chicken manure, etc. We're going to be constructing a nursery table here so we can basically prepare all of the seeding trays over here and then take them right over here and slot them into our nursery, and it's going to be less of a storage once we get pumping. Some indoor looking plant here, do not know what it is, but it's really come to in the last couple of months. Got a potato that we rescued, bromeliad rescued, rhubarb rescued, succulent. Pretty much the same story all around. These strawberries we rescued from the old beds before. We rescued them from ourselves as we removed these old raised beds that were in the way of in the sight of our expanded plan. Same from this celery. We've been cutting greens and celery from this one, or the stalks I mean. And we've got a couple of bananas here that we also rescued from a permaculture garden that got shut down by the church, who decided that they didn't want to continue the last 20 years of the 25-year lease. So we went in and rescued all of their perennial herbs, varieties, and a couple of bananas as well. And I'm going to show you what else we rescued in a second. First I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown of the irrigation that we got going. We've got a very large roof. It can catch insane amounts of rainwater, and a lot of the downpipes still do go down the drain, but at least some of the roof catches in this quite small rain tank. This is the pump that pumps it up to the mains pressure that we need. And up until this point, this has been used as a handheld watering on a reel, but now it's got a more integrated function into the system. So we're following this rain hose all the way along here, past the in-ground strawberry that needs mulching, plus the nectarine in bloom. We fed this one a couple of weeks ago, so this is probably going to give us quite a nice fruit, especially after this rain. Same story with the citrus, I hope. The Maya lemons, no, Eureka lemons. So here we have our water point. This comes in from the rain tank. This is from the town water, the Sydney water mains, and this is going into our garden enclosure. So basically, if we've had enough rain, this guy can stay off, and we're getting rainwater coming in directly from here, passing through here, It's not what it's designed for, but I knew that there wasn't any valves or anything in here, so I thought, you know, it's going to work. So glad that we invested in brass fittings, because my god, every other fitting that was lying around was leaking. So very happy that we're having now being able to keep these permanently pressurized to full mains pressure, and we're not getting any leaks. And these come with a 3-year warranty. Yeah, you saw that dripping. I know, it's because we were just watering here before. It's still wet. So this hose goes in here underneath this fence and into our garden enclosure, which I will give a proper entrance to. Star picket fence with mesh, side entrance doors, but let's not go through the side, let's go through the main beautiful entrance. But on the way first, you're going to see all these different varieties of herbs and other things, orphaned plants. This is kind of a perennial orphan bed, and these guys are all doing beautifully in here. Basically pure cow manure compost, this raised bed, and it's got edging of oregano all the way around, so hopefully as we walk past to do the laundry we'll get a nice whiff of some Italian herbs that will remind us that we're going to be eating yummy pizza. So we've got quite a lot of herbs that we didn't really know what they are, but we know that they're perennial herbs and they're going to be flowering. Some of them don't necessarily have human function in the sense of edibility or that sort of thing, but in general, the more diversity the better, and when it's attracting pollinators and other beneficial insects, you can't really go wrong. So until you've absolutely stacked your garden bed filled with stuff, I say why not put so-called non-useful plants in there. Here's a little orphaned brassica. We're going to see how this survives outside the enclosure. Some lovely nasturtium that's just ready to go nuts in this bed. And we've got lemongrass, also rescued from the permaculture garden as well. And hopefully this is going to be the start of a nice edging. Got some onions here, walking onions I think. And a little strawberry. So we have our passion fruit as well, and some fruit trees on the other side. And we'll see if we can find new homes for these in time. But for now we're getting really nice buds forming, and it's probably just my optimistic eyes that are seeing that these leaves are a bit less yellow than a few weeks ago when we started feeding it a bit more. It's our kookaburra friend who was just hanging out on top of our arbor here. Hope he didn't get too startled by it. It's a very nice place to sit, I'm not surprised. It's a bit fancy for something that came from the tip shop. It looks way fancier than what we're used to usually. So we've got these strawberries ready to cascade down on top of us here. And here we are at the entrance. So we open up the gate here, and we open it up twice. There we are, fixing things on the fly here. So we'll see if that actually works or not. So here we are, and this is hopefully not even going to be able to see this arbor come Christmas time. Hopefully we'll just be able to walk under here and pluck baby cucumbers, baby melons, scarlet runner beans, and their delicious flowers. But for now, it forms a nice framing as you come in, and we've got our main long bed at the back here that basically started planting it out from the left side, and slowly we've been acquiring some seedlings from different places, and from here on hopefully our nursery is going to be providing all of the seedlings for the garden. So we might get tempted to transplant a few in. Old pizza stone that cracked. Don't spray pizza stones with water when they're in the oven and very hot. They will crack, but they form a... everything has a place, and I think it looks beautiful like this, and it's going to actually be a German chamomile little framed yin and yang looking thing, although not a balanced yin and yang. Don't know which one of them is going to be the winner. Maybe this is the balance of fear and love or something like that. Okay, so we've got our raised beds. Finally, we've got the mulch down. We had an arborist that said, yeah mate, gonna come and drop over the mulch sometime in the next few weeks. Those few weeks have come and gone, and we just simply couldn't wait, and so we have bought a trailer load of mulch called Forest Finds from a landscape shop, which doesn't give me a huge faith that it's going to be something good. And I've even seen some, yeah, here we go, paint. This is, I don't know if blue paint exists in the forest, but yeah, we're going to see. How smart that was. But they didn't have the 3 other orders of preference of mulch that we wanted, so we had to go for it in the end. So our cut and come again lettuce row at the very beginning here is going fantastically, and we're just we're trying not to even let a single blade of lettuce go to waste, because we're staying on top of it and just keep harvesting the bottom leaves before they go bad, most of them anyway. Little spider here hanging out after the rain, having a good time. These are actually beet roots, I think. It might be silver beet. We're going to see. This is some very intensely planted bok choy that we're going to just be thinning them out, harvesting them as we go, and then probably there's only going to be able to fit 6 of them here by the time they're fully grown, but this is kind of the spacing that we'll probably go for in the end. I've got a broccoli that was, I guess, not really loving life, and it was also rescued from the disruption of us coming in and removing these existing raised beds and building a whole garden enclosure. But it's gone to flower, and I can pretty much guarantee that there's some beneficial insects living in here, because I've seen them taking care of the aphids, actually witnessed it before, and right now I can even see something living in this flower, and we're probably not going to be able to see that on the camera. There's something in there. So we've got the ecology going. There's a lot of insect biomass living around, much in thanks to the fact that Carol loves flowers, and this place has been a haven for beautiful flowers for a long time, and you've got a lot of insects living around the place, and so we're not afraid of aphids, we're not afraid of the cabbage white butterfly. We're just going to let nature take its role. And so far, it is winter, so those white cabbage moths are not really around yet. And these little guys just love it after it's been raining. I don't know if you can see them on the camera. So we've got basically brassicas all the way along here, starting with some cabbages, and slowly transitioning to kales and broccolis and broccolinis being some of the closest together ones. And these were the ones that we've been thinning out, so when we planted this out we went and planted extras here and there. And you can see how kales love their neighbours. Look what he's doing to his friend. We'll probably move that guy and this guy and make room. Meanwhile also, always on the lookout for little fittings that we've left. We've got some watercress that I direct seeded quite lazily in between all of these brassicas, and that is another one of our strategies against that cabbage white butterfly that we're definitely not afraid of, because the cabbage white butterfly's babies prefer watercress, but it kills them. Ouch. Nature is harsh. So there's a few of them coming up here and there I can see, and we'll see how successful that strategy is. So here we've got the water point. When this was first constructed, there was a lot more cable ties and it was a lot more garden hose going on, and we tried putting in these elbows with garden hose. It did not work. Let's wait for that plane to pass. So basically these 90-degree elbows are not designed for garden hose, they're designed for this irrigation tube. So, and it will still fit without these in, but these things do hold the pressure. So basically it's just worth doing things right and buying the right fittings and having the right tools to attach those fittings. And yes, we've bought a lot of these brass fittings, but it's been totally worth it because nothing is leaking even when this is under pressure. This kookaburra is clearly really happy with us because he just took a big shit on this brassica right now. Just right now. So we've got the right kind of gear to kind of straighten this out and get rid of the rest of the cable ties, and this is going to have a cute little roof on this. I'm picturing also a native bee hive sitting on top, and then some of the nicer constructions have a little thatched roof, so it's going to be this multifunctional little point here that's providing our irrigation. So this thing can be set for certain run times at either once an hour all the way up to once every day, or 2 days, 3 days, or once a week. And if it rains, you just press this button and it will go, okay, skip the watering today, let's make it rain tomorrow. And speaking of making it rain, we'll probably bury this. And so we've got our little fitting here that we can hook onto this if we like, and most of the time it's going to be plugged into this guy. And I'm going to plug it in all the way and then run, because it's really going to rain in here. Make it rain! As my cousin Market Gardener in Victoria always says. So this one sprinkler is watering from quite high our entire garden, including the fruit trees, including the perennial orphans. Including these strawberries up high. Isn't that beautiful? It's even watering our fruit trees over there and a bit of the neighbour's yard. And as it's coming back here, I'm going to run out of here. That is just so much fun.